Welcome. It is Basit Idea here. In this channel, I upload videos on how I created my designs with Canva using my smartphone and also how to use some tools in Canva. I also upload videos on how to use some tools in Canva that can make your designs professional and creative. Once again, welcome to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. You are welcome once again. Welcome. So in this video, we will be replicating this design. In this video, this wedding invitation design. That is exactly what I'll be replicating for you. I designed it with my smartphone, and that is exactly what we'll be replicating now using my smartphone, and you're going to do the same using your smartphone. Oh yeah, let us start. So log into your Canva. Either you're using the app or you're using the website, any of the two. So once you log in, the next thing for you to do is to click on the plus icon as usual. Then I'll click on custom size because I know the size, the design resolution I want to use. So I used what is it called, 3000 by 3000. So you can click on what, create new design. So that is exactly what you are going to do. So the next thing for us to do now is to do what is to have our design ready here. So it is going to load our template as usual, but what you are going to do is to click on element and go and get our background. So I use an image as our background, and that is exactly what you'll be getting here. Oh, the service, please don't do this for us today. So I'm coming. Let us wait a little bit. I'm coming. So I think the service is okay now. So I'll just click on see all. So the image I use is already in my recently used. I'm going to show you the name of the image. So let me quickly show you the name of the image. So I'm coming. What is it called? So the name of the image is pink glitter something light background. Pink glitter light background. So you can just screenshot it in case you also want to replicate this design. So the next thing for me to do is to do what is to increase its size using this hedge. So I'll use it to increase its size. So the next thing for me to do is to go to transparency and reduce the transparency. I used 40 for the transparency of the image. So the next thing I will be doing is to go to flitter and I change the I use fresco flitter. From the natural I use the fresco. So the next thing I will do is to go to adjust, and once I get to adjust the brightness, I use 10 for the brightness. So for the brightness of the image I use, for the background I use 10, for the contrast I used 15. So the next thing we'll be doing now is to start designing. I'll go to the element again and get I use Arabic Bismillah. So this is it here already. So this is the Bismillah I used here. So I'm going to go and use the exact size I used in the previous design I showed you. So you know we are replicating it again. So the width for the design for the Bismillah was 1010.5, and for the height it was 208. So that was exactly the size it used. So let me quickly show you the name of the Bismillah. Show us. So it is Bismillah, so that is the name of it. So the next thing we're going to do, let's just get that again. So for the X we use 844.7, and for the Y we used 300. So on this one we use what, 1310.5. So this is the exact size that we used for the Bismillah. So the next thing we are going to do now is to have it here. It is already where we want it to be. So the next thing we'll be doing is to input this is to inform you. So I'll click on add a heading. So once I click on add a heading, I'm going to what, I've already copied the text I want to use. So I'm just going to click on it, click on edit, and do what, input the text. So I'm coming. So I'm just going to input the text. I'm going to paste it here. I'll just paste it. So this is to formally announce something up there. So I'm just going to reduce it and do it like this so that it will just be one line. I'll go to font. I use Montserrat for it. So, oh please service, don't be bad. So I use Montserrat semi-bold for it. So I use Montserrat semi-bold. So to this font size I use 66.9. 66.9 was the size I used. So the next thing I did was to do what, place it here. So I'm just going to go to position, center. So this is to formally announce the okay. Then I'll go to text again, click on add a heading and input Nika ceremony. So the next thing I will do is to go to font, go to so the The font I used for the Nikah ceremony was what is it called? This Radley. What is it called? This is the font I used, Radley. So I'll just click on it. So the next thing, the size of the font of the text was 160. So the size of this text, Nikah ceremony, was 160. So that was the size we used. So the next thing, I use a gold color instead of using black. So I'll just click on this one and input the X code of the gold color. It was what? 947602. So you can just screenshot it in case you also want to replicate this design. So that was the exact size I used. So the next thing I will do is to go to position, go to align, and click on center. So the next thing I will do is to do what? Duplicate this text. So once I duplicate it, I'm going to click on edit and input what? Between. So the between, the size I used for the between, let me go to the font size. The size I used was 84.8. I used what? 84.8. That was the size I used for the between, and the color I used was black. So I'm just going to do what? Place it here a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to input our name of the wedding, so what of the groom and bride. So I'm going to click on, either I can just click on this Nikah ceremony instead of me clicking on the text again to do it from scratch. I'm just click on this Nikah ceremony, click on duplicate, then click on edit here and input Rashid, go back, and Rashida. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is to go to font. The font I used for the bride and groom was Black Mango. This is it here, Black Mango. So I used what is it called, the semi-bold Black Mango, because it has font. It is a typeface and it has font, regular, medium, so I used the semi-bold one. So the next thing I do was to go to spacing. For the line spacing, I used what is it called for the line spacing, 0.76 for the line spacing, and for the letter spacing I used 62 for the letter spacing. And for the color I use red color, and so I'll input the X code now in case you also want to replicate this design. So I used what is it called, C40101. So that was the exact red color that I used. You can screenshot it in case you want to replicate this design. So the next thing, the size I used, the text size was 227 was the text size. So, and I did what? I go to position, go to align, and click on center. So I just move it down a little bit. Let me just move it down a little bit like this. So I'm going to duplicate, I'm going to group this Nikah ceremony and between together. So I'm just going to click on group here. So I'm going to group them together and do what? Create a size. No, I don't want to create this one is too much for them. So let me just click on notch. I want to create, like, I want it to be between this is formally to announce, so, and what, and the Rashid bride something. So I'm just going to create a size between the two of them. So it is now too small. Now let me just go to click here again. So let me just click on it again and see if it is if it has balanced. Yes, I think it is okay now. So the next thing we are going to do now is to input the what is it called. So I'll just click on this, the date. So I'll click on the Rashid again, duplicate it instead of me clicking on the text, click on edit. So once I click on edit, I'm going to input April, go to dash, use the dash iPhone, then go to what did I use, 20, then go to dash again and use 2029. So I'm just going to input 2029. I'm coming. So this is exactly what we are going to do. Then I will reduce its size a little bit, but not too much. Try and increase it and make it just one line. So this is exactly what you use. Then I'll go to font again. The font I used was Montserrat Bold. The font I used was Montserrat Bold. This is Montserrat, the bold one, the bold Montserrat. This is Montserrat, in case you want to replicate this design. So I use Montserrat Bold. So when I do what, I placed it here. Go to position, go to align, and click on center. So the next thing I'll do is to click on element again. Then I use this line there. This was the line I used. Let me just go to position to use the exact size of the line I used. So let me firstly show you the name of the line. So this is it, horizontal line, in case you also want to use it. So I'll go to position, go to advanced, and use the exact size I used. For the width, I used 1597.2, and for the height, I used 8. For the X, I used 701.4, and for the Y I used 2625. So that was the exact size I used. Go to position, go to align, and click on center. So for the April something, I think the font size, the text size was 85.2. I used 85.2. 85.2. So that was the font size, and the color I used was black, so I used black. So the next thing for us to do is to go to nudge and then place it at the bottom a little bit. I'm coming. So for the letter spacing, we'll go to what spacing here. Then for the letter spacing, no, there's no letter spacing for this one. So for the letter spacing, I use 189 for the letter spacing. So I'm just going to click it here like this. So we are going to go to position, go to align, and click on OK. It is already at center. So I think we are almost done. So the next thing for us to do is to go to element again. So the flower I put at the bottom. So this is the flower. It is blue color actually, but I'll just use color edit to change the color. So I'll go to what is it called? I'll go to adjust. Once I get to adjust, I'm going to keep scrolling till I get to color edit. So this is color edit here. I'm going to click on this color edit here. So once I click on the color edit, once I get to the color edit, once you click on from adjust, you are going to scroll till you get to this color edit here. So the next thing you are going to do is to increase the hue. So for the hue is the color. I will firstly change the color. So the way what you use for changing color is this hue here. So I'm just going to use for the color I used 67. So after changing the color, I increase what is it called? Go to the color edit again, go to color edit, it is here already. So I'm going to increase the saturation. I used 67 for the saturation too, and for the brightness I used 6. So for the hue 67, saturation 67, and brightness 67. So the next thing we are going to do is to go to, let me quickly show you the name of the element. What is it called? Oh, please be fast. So blue flower petal. So this is the name, blue flower petal, in case you want to replicate this design. So the next thing is to go to position to use the exact size I used. So I used what is it called? For the width I use 35 84.9. For the height I used 838, and for the x I used 3292.5, and for the y I used 3357.8. So and for the rotate I used 180 minus 180 rather. For the rotate I used minus 180. So that was exactly the size I used. Here, where is our design? This is serious. What? Let me just go to element again and get it. I don't know what's wrong actually. So let me just go to element, get the image again. So go to I think the size. Okay, then I'll go to position. No, I'll go to adjust here, then scroll till I get to color edit. This is color edit. Click on this blue one. I'll use 67 for the bright saturation, 67, and for the brightness I used 6. So that was exactly what I used. So I'll just increase its size, go to position, go to advanced, and rotate it. For the rotate I use 180. Don't let me change the size because it will delete the image totally, I think so. So I'll just increase its size a little bit like this and place it like this. Yes, I think it is okay. I'll click on the image again, go to position, go to align, and click on center. So it is already at center like this, and I think we are done creating our wedding invitation design. I hope you learned something. Anyways, I'm that designer that designs and makes money with Canva. Let me teach you how to do it, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, and let me know what you learned in the comment section. You're welcome.